Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl if you are new here, and today I'm here to do the Clean Slate book tag. Now I was tagged by Roya Eve Reads, and I will leave her video link down below as well as the original creator's link down below, or their video down below. And this tag is something I probably should have done in January, but filming schedules. And it is just a bunch of different questions related to my reading goals for the year, related to my channel goals, related to some other things. And what I liked about this tag is they were not the typical questions you see in a lot of book tags. So I'm looking forward to answering these, and without further ado, let's just do that. So question number one is, are there any genres that you're looking forward to reading more or less of in 2018? And I don't have any particular plans like, oh god, I need to read less contemporary, or I guess in this case I'd have to read more contemporary because I hardly read any to begin with. Less fantasy, oh I need to read more urban, like paranormal romances, or I don't have any goals to read specific genres. However, I do hope to read some of the books that have been on my shelf the longest, which are a lot of fantasy books, so I guess I'm gonna end up reading more fantasy, but I pretty much only read fantasy to begin with, so. Question number two, sorry, I'm gonna be looking down at these questions, they're kind of long. So question number two is, are there any books that I've read recently that have challenged my worldview, changed any philosophies? And not yet. I hope to obviously read a few books like that this year. In fact, I have Thug, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas on my list, and a lot of people say that that is a book that have kind of changed them, and so I'm sure one or two books this year will do that for me. But I mean, every book I read opens my eyes to something, which is why I read it. I very rarely read any just kind of mindless books. Not to say that there's anything wrong with reading those types of books, I just don't often pick them up. But I can't say that I read anything in particular that was like, this has opened my eyes. I am a changed person now. So question number three is, who would you recommend for a newbie to watch? What I assume by this is like a booktube newbie, you just started your channel. What honestly I would recommend is not to watch a lot of the big booktubers. Not that there's anything wrong with their channel, but try to seek out small booktubers who have started around the same time as you. What I like to do with some frequency is search the new to booktube tag or booktube newbie tag, and you can sort your search on YouTube by date, and I will search it from like the last week or the last month, so I'm getting new people for sure, and I'll watch those videos. And what I think that's good, especially if you're starting out, is inevitably you're going to compare yourself. If you're watching people who have been doing this for 3-4 years, you're going to compare your videos to theirs, and they might have a better camera, a better lighting situation, be more comfortable in front of a camera, and you're just starting out and maybe you don't have those things, or you're not comfortable in front of a camera, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you're going to inevitably compare yourself to those big booktubers and will get discouraged, I feel. And I only say this because that is definitely something I have done and still do sometimes. Sometimes I see videos and I'm like, oh, that was really well put together. Oh, I'm not as good as you. That's probably why I don't have as many subs. And that's a very negative mindset to put yourself in, especially if you're first starting out. So I would say, try to find other small booktubers. They may not have the great setup that you're envious of, or they may be awkward in front of the camera like you, because let's be real, if you haven't done any filming before you start a channel, you are awkward in front of a camera. I cringe when I look at my early videos because I talked in a much higher pitched voice than I actually talk in. I wasn't as expressive in front of a camera. I was trying to put on the facade that I thought people would want to see. So you're not going to be the same when you first start as you are when you're years into it. So I'd say try to find some small channels so that you don't inevitably compare yourself to people who've been doing this for 4 years and have $1,000 camera setup. So question number 4 is, do I have a reading book bucket list? And no, not really. I have some goals, general goals with my yearly reading, but bucket list to me is a broad spectrum thing. Maybe just to read all of the books on my TBR, and the reason I'm saying that is because like most bucket list things, it's never gonna happen. Question number 5 is, what about BookTube has surprised you the most? And for me, it's genuinely the community. I know that's a common answer for a lot of people, but it is. I follow a lot of beauty channels, and I follow some gaming channels, and I follow other communities on YouTube, and that's not to say that they're not inviting, but they're not nearly as inviting, I feel, as booktubers are. And by that, and I don't know if that's because the biggest booktubers don't even come close to the biggest YouTubers on other communities. For example, some of the biggest booktubers here obviously have like 350,000 subs, which is a lot. It's an amazing achievement, but the biggest like beauty gurus have millions and millions of subs. So maybe that's why they're more approachable and you can talk to them. But I think everyone is just friendlier here. There isn't like a bunch of catty drama, which is in other communities. And then, like I said, I'm not saying that every person who is part of the beauty community is catty and full of drama and like, because that's just a stereotype. But I do find that there are more like, there is more drama or more scandals in the bigger communities. And maybe that's just because it's a bigger community. Just the sense of community, and especially with the demonetization thing, everyone from like any subscriber level has really banded together to support each other, and I just think that is amazing. Question number 6 is, what are some of your goals? And these don't have to just be booktube goals. And I do have an entire like booktube / reading goals video for this year, which I will leave linked down below if you're interested. But just some general goals. I'm really close to 400 subs, and I know it is not about the numbers, but I think it would be pretty stellar and spectacular if I could actually hit 400 subs, because that is just unimaginable to me. And I just want to read books I love, which is such a like obvious goal, but that's one of them. And then I really want to grow my Etsy store this year. I've worked really hard on it, and I am trying to grow that and have that help support me through my last semester of college. So those are just some simple goals. Oh, also graduate this year. That's something that's cool. I've been in school for fucking ever. And so I finally get to graduate this semester. That's pretty neat. So question number 7 is, if I could meet any writer, artist, or musician, who would I meet? I don't know. There's so many different options to this. Like, I could meet J.K. Rowling and ask her why. I could meet some of my favorite musicians that aren't alive anymore. I could meet Lovecraft and be like, stop being racist. Darwin. I'd meet Charles Darwin. He's not any of those things, but if it's a famous person that's not alive anymore, I would meet him. So question number 8 is, would you rather have your life written by your favorite author or portrayed by your favorite actor in a movie? And I'm gonna go with written because I'm a book nerd. I very, very rarely watch films, much to the horror of my husband. I have not seen most major films, and so I think I would enjoy being written about more than being portrayed. Although not to say that being portrayed wouldn't be cool, I'd rather be written, I think. So question number 9 is in regards to my channel, and that is, what challenges have I overcome, or what would I still like to improve in regards to my channel? I've overcome a lot of challenges, but they're not unique to me. I've overcome being uncomfortable in front of a camera. Ironically enough, like most people, I hated the sound of my voice. Anytime before I started my channel, anytime my husband would try to film me on like Snapchat or something, I would immediately stop talking. And now I'm like, hey, I'm putting videos of myself on the internet. And one of my friends pointed out the other day, it is kind of funny that I'm the one out of all of us that created a channel and is doing this, because I am the quietest, most reserved, most like, I don't want to be a part of anything person. So for me to put myself out there on the internet is a little, I don't know if it's impressive, but just to be the one to do it compared to some of the other people I know who are very like outgoing and stuff, it's kind of funny. In regards to like my channel, I've overcome lighting issues. I've overcome learning. I didn't know how to edit before starting my channel. I didn't know how to, I don't want to say I didn't know how to communicate, but like to reach out to other booktubers, to comment, to interact. Like, I watched booktube before starting my channel, but I didn't really interact. I maybe would give someone a like, but like I never commented because I was like, well, why? But now I know how to kind of like network like that and comment, but which I don't want to say network because I don't comment on people's videos to be like, okay, now they're going to comment back on mine. I comment because I found something interesting, but you know what I mean. I'm like interacting more with this, like with the community I'm a part of. As for things I need to improve on my channel, consistency with uploading. I've started a new upload schedule, which I just made a video for, which is already wrong because I've decided through a poll on Twitter, you guys have decided that you would rather me upload my Let's Plays 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because they're only 20-minute episodes, and honestly, for anything interesting to happen in the game, it would take months of videos if I was only uploading it once a week. So we're gonna do 3 times a week. I don't know if it'll be the same game every time, but we're gonna do 3 times a week. Bookish videos will still be Monday and Friday. If I can stick to that schedule, that would be fantastic. Other things I'd like to improve, I'd like to work on my graphics for my channel, like a new banner and such, but that's not pressing. Eventually get some new lighting, some consistent lighting. But yeah, there are always things you can improve. I don't want to ever get in the mindset of like, I have reached the peak, I will never get better from here, because that's never true. There's always something I can improve on. But yeah, so those are some things I have overcome and would like to improve with my channel. Question number 10 is, what advice would I give to someone that is thinking about deleting their booktube channel? And what I like about this question is typically you see, what advice would you give someone to start their channel? So this is someone who started it and has found dissatisfaction with their channel or the community in some way. And I would say, think about why you want to delete your channel. Do you want to delete it because it's not growing like you want to? Do you want to delete it because you're unhappy with the quality of your videos? Do you want to delete it because you find the community unwelcoming? Figure out why you want to delete it first, and then go from there. If you are anxious and unhappy with your videos and the thought of filming yourself and uploading it to the internet makes you very uncomfortable, don't film. Just delete your booktube channel, or at least stop posting videos and then like watch other videos. You don't have to film to be a part of this community. You can talk to people. If you're more comfortable blogging because something about being on camera makes you extremely anxious, go ahead and blog. Bloggers and book bloggers are super important for this community. You don't have to film to be a part of this community. You can just comment and interact if you don't want to do blogging or anything. There are a lot of different ways to be a part of this community. So if one way in particular makes you uncomfortable, maybe try another route. However, if you just are unsatisfied that your channel isn't growing, maybe look at why that bothers you so much. And it's really easy to say that once you start getting momentum and your channel starts growing. For example, with this monetization thing, like I mentioned, the community came together, and in like 3 days I gained like 150 subs, which is just insane to me and is unusual. I don't expect to wake up one day and have gained 50 subs, because it's crazy. I think if you're making videos explicitly to get the subs and to get monetization, and that is the only reason you're doing it, you might want to reevaluate your priorities. I don't think it's wrong to want to get paid for what you want to do. We do put a lot of time and effort into making these videos, between buying equipment, between spending our time in front of a camera and talking. All of these things take time and effort, so I don't think it's wrong to want to be paid for what you're doing. However, if the only reason you're doing it is for the possibility of being paid, and you're dissatisfied because you're not seeing your sub count grow, that's not a good reason to start a channel or to have a channel, and that could be a reason you want to delete it. There's a lot of different things that go into this question, so I would say, first and foremost, figure out why you want to delete your channel and go from there. I'd say don't give up unless, of course, like I said, you are extremely uncomfortable about some aspect of filming, in which case don't push yourself. People can tell when you're extremely uncomfortable in front of a camera. You can tell when you're watching the videos, so don't push yourself if it makes you uncomfortable. So question number 11 is just, who do you tag? So I'm going to tag, and I will leave all of their channels linked down below, The Baked Book, Katie's Booktube, Worth 1,000 Words, and Unicorn Hunter Books. I'm very interested to see your answers in this, if you haven't already done this. If you have, ignore me, I apologize. I follow so many people now, I've subbed to so many people that my subscription feed videos get lost sometimes, so if you have done this, I apologize. But if you have not, make sure to tag me in it so I can see it, because like I said, I really liked these questions. They were different, they were unique. But yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye!